Okay, welcome to chair yoga. This is a gentle chair yoga class appropriate for any body. A couple things to keep in mind. Well, first of all, I'm Barbara, and we are um, practicing mindful movement. That means bringing all of our attention to the sensations in our body, and we're cultivating curiosity and kindness in our practice. So, noticing the sensations that we feel, um, getting curious about how different movements affect the sensations in our body. And then the kindness part is always working in our pain-free range of motion. It's okay to feel sensation. We don't want to feel any pain or strain. So if we start to notice that we're pressing up against that edge where we're starting to feel some strain, then the kind thing is to back off a little bit. Everything that we do in this class is optional, other than the breathing. I will give you lots of options. It's always a beautiful option just to sit and breathe mindfully as well. So today we're going to be doing some things sitting in our chair, some things standing using our chair for assistance. So hopefully you have a chair on a non-stick surface. You might have some pillows nearby. I'll show you how we can use them at different points, and we're going to get started. So the first thing we're going to do is just sort of shift our awareness from everything going on around us to what's going on inside. So if you'd like to sit all the way back in your chair, you can, with your back supported by the chair. You can let your eyes be open or closed and just begin to settle in. Just sit and know that you are sitting. Tuning into the sensations in your body. Tuning into the flow of your breath. Just doing a gentle scan of your body, maybe starting at the feet, noticing sensation in your feet, your ankles, and just slowly move up the body, just observing with curiosity and kindness. You might notice areas of relative ease. You might notice areas that might be holding on to more tension. Just observe. Doing our best to let go of judgments as we notice. And when our mind wanders, which it will, because that's the nature of the mind, to things in the past, things in the future, other things in your environment, just notice where the mind is gone without any judgment about it, and gently guide it back to the breath, to the sensations that you feel in your body, over and over and over again. So when you've made it all the way through your physical body, take a few moments to notice your emotional body, your thoughts, emotions. Just see what is true in this moment, what's present for you. Maybe how quickly or slowly your thoughts are moving. Maybe the intensity of emotion you might be feeling. You might be present to more than one emotion at different levels. There's no right or wrong. Just noticing what is. And take a moment to Send yourself some gratitude for showing up for yourself today in this way, for this gentle practice. Okay, so the first seated posture that we're going to do is seated mountain pose. So if it's comfortable for you, just shift a little bit away from the back of your chair so that your feet can be planted firmly on the floor. Your bottom is supported by the chair. Think about the spine getting tall, lengthening through the crown of the head, and then let everything else relax down. You might even notice as you sit up tall that the belly muscles start to awaken a little bit. So we're sitting in this kind of regal position, finding both alertness and ease. It feels to sit in this unsupported posture, not supported by the back of the chair, perhaps. And we're just going to begin to move through the 6 movements of the spine. So just first letting everything round, let the chin come down towards the chest, letting the head hang, noticing sensation in the back of the neck, maybe the upper back, maybe middle back, lower back, shoulders relaxed and rounded. The breath is flowing free and easy. And then let's move that spine in the opposite direction. So now sitting up tall, maybe even opening through the chest, letting the shoulders come back. Gaze can be maybe towards the upper corner of the room. So a tiny bit of an arch, more of a lengthening through the spine, lifting through the heart. And then we'll just flow the spine through those 2 movements. Rounding. And then lengthening, maybe even a little arch. So just flowing back and forth. And you can add movement to the breath by inhaling as we lengthen, open, lifting. Exhaling as we round, relax, release. Inhaling, lengthening. Exhaling, rounding. If you'd like to add some arms to this, you could take your arms wide or goalpost arms. As you lift, you could reach the arms in opposition forward as you round. And you're in charge of how much sensation you feel in the pose. This could be sort of a softer, smaller movement, or if it feels good in your body, you might energetically reach through the arms, lifting through the spine, feeling a little more stretch in the movement. Let's do one more. And coming back to center, pause here. Noticing the after effects. And we're going to move to a lateral stretch. So let's take one arm either up to the ceiling or maybe fingertips on the shoulder or the waist. And just lift and lengthen through the side body. Pressing down through our bottom as we lengthen through the side ribs. The breath is flowing free and easy. And then float that hand down. Let's take the other arm up. We'll take a few breaths here, getting curious about the sensation that you feel. Notice even the difference between how it feels as you breathe in and how it feels as you breathe out. And then float that down. And then we're just going to flow it with a breath. So inhale to lengthen. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, lower. And if it feels good to turn the head, looking maybe to the upper elbow, you can do that and then bring it back to center. Let's do one more on each side. Nice. And so now we've moved the spine through forward and back, lateral, and now we're going to do a gentle twist. So let's inhale to get tall, lengthening through the spine. And then we're just going to keep our knees and hips forward as we gently twist the torso in one direction. We could place one hand on the outside of the knee. The other hand can go on the chair, shoulders relax down. Take a breath or two or three here, just till you feel some sensation without any strain or pain. And then as you inhale, get tall and come back to center, release. Let's try the other side. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, twist to the other side. Hands can gently rest down. Just noticing what there is to notice. Spine is lengthening while everything else relaxes down. And then inhale to grow a little taller. Exhale, unwind. Okay, we're going to add some arms and we're going to flow this with the breath. So you can just keep moving your arms side to side, or if you'd like to bring the arms overhead, you could inhale, bring both arms up. Exhale, twist. Hand on the chair, hand on the knee. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twist. Flowing from side to side. Nice and slow. One more on each side. Inhale, coming back to center. Exhale, float the arms down. Shake it out a bit. Now we're going to do some circles. We call this stirring the pot. If you'd like to widen your stance a little bit, you can do that. And with the spine nice and long, we're just going to begin to make small circles. Always starting small and slow so that we can really tune in with curiosity and kindness to whatever we're feeling in our bodies right now. And our body is our best teacher. It's going to tell us when we might be able to widen the circle or maybe to back off. Again, you might notice that those abdominal muscles might wake up a little bit more. You might feel them activating. If you'd like to get more rounded in your movement, you can do that. Slowly coming back to center and then change directions. Maybe starting with a tall spine, small circles. And maybe making those slow circles wider. You can get a little more movement in the spine and the shoulders if that feels good. Or just keep the spine tall. Slowly coming back to center. Let's walk the feet in. Let's just march the feet a little bit, nice and slow. So you could hold on to your chair if you like. You could have your hands on your lap. Just see if you can get real curious about the sensations in your core, in your hip flexors. See if you can keep the spine long and your core engaged. And float that foot down. We're just going to let the knees come in and out, bringing some movement and circulation to those hips. You can do a little Charleston movement here if you like. And coming back to center. Now we're going to extend, scoot back so maybe you can see my feet. Going to extend one leg, draw the toes back towards the knees. So my leg is long, my knee is soft, not locking out the knee, and the other foot is just on the floor. So I'm drawing my toes back towards my knee, and then I'm pressing them forward, drawing them back and pressing them forward. Now I can get my wrist involved too. So flex the foot, flex the hand, and then reach the toes down, fingers down, and flex, and point, and flex, and point. Two more. Nice, let's walk that in. Step it out a bit, and other side. Toes come back towards the knees, little stretch through the calf, knee is soft, spine is tall, shoulders relax down. I'm flexing those toes and press, flex, and press. You can add the wrist, flex, and press, flex, and press, flex, and press, flex, and press. Two more. Nice, and let's walk that in. Shake it out a little bit. Now I'm going to cross one ankle over the opposite knee. If this is too intense, I can straighten that leg a little bit to bring everything lower, or I could even cross my ankle. So the idea is just to let that inner thigh open up, that hip open up a little bit. So wherever is comfortable for you, and then let's just take that knee up and down. So just moving through my comfortable range of motion. Whenever we move those joints around in their comfortable range of motion, we are bringing lubrication to those joints. Hopefully they'll move a little more smoothly. Nice, and then let's let that knee open out and sitting up nice and tall. Just notice the sensation that we bring to that hip just by pressing our bottom into the chair and lengthening our spine up. While we're here, let's roll the ankle in one direction. Roll the ankle in the other direction. Coming back to center. And we can stay right here for a few breaths, just thinking about getting tall, 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 so that we feel that opening in the hip and a little stretch through the hip and the glute. If we'd like to go a little deeper into the pose, if that's accessible to us today, then nice and slow, super slow-mo, with the tall spine, I'm just hinging forward. And I only need to go about an inch before I start feeling more sensation on that side. So just breathe at that place of sensation. with curiosity and kindness. And maybe after a few breaths, some more space opens up that I want to explore. If you notice that you're holding your breath, that might be an indication that you're going a little too far. So just back up a little bit till you can breathe comfortably. And when you're ready, slowly come up. Now I'm going to uncross. I'm going to clasp my hands underneath my knee and just let that foot sway back and forth. I'm going to draw my thigh up towards my chest and float that foot down and step it out a little bit. Take a moment right here just to notice how the left side feels compared to the right. And other side. So crossing ankle over ankle, ankle over long leg, ankle over bent knee. And then letting that knee come up and down. Again, just getting things moving in there. And then letting that leg open up, sitting up tall. Feel that sensation. Let's roll the foot in one direction. Roll the foot in the other direction. And sitting up a little taller. Just going to stay here for a few breaths. If you'd like to go a little deeper with a nice long spine, just hinging forward. Just till you feel a satisfying amount of sensation. Let the breath be free and easy. Letting go of any holding on that isn't serving you in the pose. So if you notice that you're holding on in your jaw, see if you can invite that to let go. Maybe in your shoulders or your neck. Slowly coming up. Gonna make that hammock under my knee, release, and just let that leg swing. Draw my thigh towards my chest and then float it down and step it out. Coming back to our seated mountain pose, nice long tall spine. Let's take our arms out to the side. Turn the palms up. Breathe into that sensation through the shoulders, the arms, the wrists, the hands, the fingers. If this is too much, you can always bring the hands down and then bring them back up. But I'm just reaching through. And then let's take the arms overhead, palms forward. And then I'm just going to draw my elbows down just to about shoulder height. So I can imagine that the wall is touching the whole back of my body. And as I inhale, my arms and hands are sliding up the wall. And as I exhale, they're sliding down. So my hands and elbows are slightly pressed back. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, pull. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, pull. We'll do one more like that. Nice. Let's take the arms out, bend the elbows, bring the fingertips to the shoulders. And then we're just going to make little circles with the elbows. You can take a break, take a breath, and come back. Maybe make those circles wider. So we're moving our shoulders through their range of motion and then change directions, starting small and then wider. Could always do this one arm at a time if that feels better for you. And coming back to center, let's relax the hands, shake them out. Get some jelly arms, just releasing. And float the hands down. And let's just take our gaze over one shoulder and the other shoulder, keeping the shoulders relaxed away from the ears. Just a little movement in the neck, side to side. Coming back to center. Then I'm just going to take my gaze maybe to the corner of the room or overhead. I don't want to hang it all the way back. That's a little too intense. And then taking my gaze down to the floor. Inhale, lengthening the gaze up. Exhale down. Let's just do a few more like that. And coming back to center. Now imagine that you have a paintbrush on your nose, and we're just going to paint some little circles on the canvas in front of us. And then maybe we let those circles spiral wider, nice and slow. You might hear or feel some crickety crack stuff going on in your neck. As long as it's not uncomfortable, it's okay. You could always make the movement slower and smaller. Sometimes there's so much more to notice when we slow down the movement. Let's come back to center. Take a breath or two here, and then change directions, starting those small painted circles, and then slowly widening them. And coming back to center. Beautiful. Let's just pause here. We'll do a few what we call sun breaths. Just inhale, reach the arms out and up. Palms together, exhale to the heart. Two more like that. Inhale. Exhale, centered and calm. Inhale. Exhale, centered and calm. Relax your hands in your lap. Pause here. Just take a few moments and get curious about how you're feeling in your body. Maybe noticing any shifts or changes in your breath or your thoughts or your emotions. We're going to do a couple things from a standing posture now. So just slowly come up. Sometimes our blood pressure changes a little bit going from sitting to standing. So if that means you want to hold on to the chair for a moment, feel free to do that. Just kind of coming into our standing mountain now. So both feet are about hip width on the floor. Arms relax down, spine is long. Just feeling that nice balance between both feet. You could even shift a little side to side. And then coming back to equal balance on both feet. Our hips are nice and level. You can even bring your hands on top of your hip bones. So if you're doing this, you'll see that the line is diagonal. See if you can come back to a nice level hip position. Spine is long. The shoulders are relaxed away from the ears. All the joints are soft. Nothing is locked out. And this is our mountain pose. And you can just breathe here. This is a great one to do if you have to be standing for any length of time in a line or wherever you might be. Just come into mountain pose, that nice, alert but relaxed posture. And you're also training your body to stand in good posture. So really, all of your muscles are working to kind of hold you in this nice aligned posture. So we're going to do a couple poses using our chair to assist us. So basically what the chair does is it brings the floor a little higher. And if you have a chair like this, it's especially nice because you can use the back of the chair if you want things a little bit higher. You can use the seat of the chair. So the first thing that we're going to do is kind of a supported down dog pose. This is a stretch, a lengthening across the back of the body. So I'm going to use the highest setting on my chair. It's on a nice no-slip surface. I'm just going to hold on to the chair. Now, most of your weight should be over your feet. So you're not really leaning so much on the chair, but more using it for support. So I'm just going to step back, let my arms lengthen. My hips are over my heels, and I'm just lengthening my upper body. My knees are soft. My head might come between my shoulders. Most of my weight is over my feet, and my hips are over my feet. And I'm just lengthening the back of my body. So I could press into my feet and feel a little more sensation in the back of my legs. I could let my heart move a little more towards the floor and feel a little more stretch in my arms and under my arms and shoulders. My knees are soft. I could even bend the knees if that feels better. And breathe. I could even bend one knee just a bit and lengthen the other leg, kind of moving side to side. And then when I'm ready to come out, I'm going to engage my core, letting the chair assist me a bit, walking back up to the chair, finding that nice tall posture again. Nice. Now we're going to move into a little balance pose, a tree pose. So again, I have my chair right here for support. I'm going to start with my mountain pose. Maybe this is where I stay. Breathing in mountain pose, feeling the balance over 2 feet. If I would like to try some variations of tree pose, I could put my hand on the chair, bring one ankle over the other, feel the belly draw in and up, nice long spine, and maybe I stay here. Maybe I try taking one hand off the chair or just use it for a little bit of support. Or maybe I take that foot off the floor and bring it on the thigh or even on the inside of the thigh. This was the calf, the inside of the thigh. Whatever feels sustainable. So you can try different things. And then maybe we take the hand off the chair. Find a point to gaze on that helps us with our balance. It's called a drishti in yoga. And you could imagine like all the energy sort of moving in to the center line, through the ground, in through the sides, up through the spine. So like a tree, we are rooted into the ground, but then everything else is lifting up towards the sun. You could even take your arms up if that feels interesting today. Being curious and kind. And if you come out of it, no big deal. You just find that place again where you feel steady in your balance. And then you can explore other things. So it's this constant moving in and out of balance. Noticing maybe stronger sensation in that supporting leg, knowing that you can come out anytime. And then slowly coming out of the pose, maybe march those legs out, move in any way that feels right and good for you. I'm going to come to the other side. So on the other side, again, starting in our mountain pose where we feel the most balanced and stable. And then shifting our weight, heel over the ankle, pressing into that rooted foot, those roots going down into the ground, and then coming into whatever version of tree pose feels right for you today. So we always want to like challenge the balance a little bit, something that feels challenging but doable. And then if we come out of it, we need a little support till we find our balance again, then that's what we do. And that's how we improve our balance over time. And really, that's how we learn any skill, is to start in our comfort zone, press our limits a little bit, something that feels challenging but doable. Back off when we need to. Press a little more forward. That's how we expand our comfort zone. You might notice that one side feels different than the other. Just another thing to be curious about. And when you're ready, slowly come out, shake it out a little bit, and we are going to come back down into our chair. So let's take a moment before we settle into final relaxation. If there are any last movements that your body is kind of craving, any more stretches or moving the joints around, you can do that now. And as we move into final relaxation, there's lots of options since we're all doing this from home. You can just sit all the way back in your chair. You could take a pillow and put it behind you. Sometimes it's nice to have a pillow on the lap. You could also do what's called legs up the chair. I'm going to show that to you. I'm going to do it on this couch right here. You could also just lay on your couch. So just putting your legs up and laying on the ground, maybe with your head on a pillow. If you're against a wall, that's another option. You can imagine that there's a wall here. I'm putting my legs up the wall. So find whatever position feels most relaxing to you right now. We'll be here for about 3 or 4 minutes. You might want to add a blanket. Your eyes can be open or closed. Just begin to settle in. Nothing to do, just be. Letting go of the weight of your body. Coming home to your breath. Floating on the rhythm of your own breath. Just breathe and be. Breathe and be. And if you are able to continue in relaxation pose for longer than these few minutes, I encourage you to do so. It's a beautiful thing to do for your body. It's a great way to sort of integrate all of the movement that we just did. Take a few moments just to notice once again how it feels in your body. Maybe notice any areas of greater openness or ease that you have allowed through your practice this morning. Maybe a little bit more freedom of movement. Maybe a little more openness or freedom in your emotional body, thoughts and feelings. And if you are bringing it to a close with me now, you might want to just begin to move or rock gently, slowly making your way back into a seated position. Letting your eyes open if they're closed. Just noticing sights in the room, sounds, smells. And I invite you, as we close our practice today, we've done a little bit of talking, thinking, experiencing curiosity and kindness. And I invite you, if you like, to take that with you into your day. That spirit of curiosity and kindness. I want to thank you for practicing with me today. Wish you peace, shanti, shalom, salam, peace. May peace fill you and surround you, and may you be an instrument of peace in your own life and in the lives of all of those that you touch. And as we open our eyes into the next moment of our life, we say what means: the light in me, all the goodness in me recognizes and bows to all the light and goodness in you. Namaste.